Okay, you guys, welcome back for another year of EPATT. Some of you, it's your first year, so on behalf of the entire staff, I want to say thanks a lot for coming out on a Wednesday night. Okay, so let me introduce myself again. My name is Keisha Weeks. I'm the academic director of EPATT. I work specifically with middle school. That is my bailiwick, so to speak. We have lots and lots of folks on our staff, but you guys meet them and interact with them, so I won't do a full set of introductions, but that's why I'm standing in front of you today. But first I want to start with some logistics. So I'm going to talk about things that everybody wants to leave this meeting knowing. And here's one of the important ones. Normally, families who've been here a long time, you're used to when you come to the meeting, you sign a piece of paper that says when you're going to bring food for the families. There was no piece of paper this year. So does that mean we're not feeding your kids? Probably not. They still have to eat. They're still human beings, okay? What is happening is that we're transitioning to a digital form. So how many of you guys filled out that digital waiver when we sent it? Yes. Look at us, EPATT. Every year you guys notice, though, we're innovating, right? Every time I stand in front of you, there's some new thing I'm like pitching or rolling out. And this year is no different. This year we're rolling out digital waivers, digital forms, digital sign-ups. Please give us feedback if stuff isn't working or if it's confusing. You know, we need to know because this is our first time doing that, so we appreciate you guys telling us what's really going on. So you will get that information in a text and an email, whichever form is best for you. You can respond and you'll be able to sign up. So that's new, coming to your phone soon, hopefully by early next week, okay? Speaking of early next week, let's talk about that. When does EPATT start? Well, before I tell you when we start, I want to talk about some schedule changes. So last year, I made a schedule change, and this year, ESG has made a schedule change. You ready for the unveiling? Drum roll, please. Okay. Thank you. Who did? Thank you. Whoever you are, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. That has not changed. The kids should still be here between 3 and 3:30. That's the same. But what's changed is the pickup time is now 6 o'clock. Now, for those of you who wanted us to keep your kids longer, I'm sorry. We're just not going to do it. We're sending them home with you. So hopefully they can eat dinner with you. They can do more homework with you. They can hang out with you and hug on you and love on you for 1 extra hour. Because I know that's what they're doing. Right? That's what they're doing? Okay, maybe not. Needless to say, we have... Mr. Adam's like, no, keep my kids. I can't. Okay? We're sending them back home. So that is a change, but where you pick them up and all that has stayed the same. So they'll still be playing tennis. The last thing, they'll be on those tennis courts. Come and get them, sign them out, hear the announcements. All of that is the same. If you're new to EPATT and you've never done any of those things and your kid is in elementary school, then this doesn't matter to you because you weren't used to picking up your kids at 7 o'clock p.m. last year and all the years before that. So this, for some people, this is like a watershed moment. Middle school, my schedule is the same as what I changed it for in the spring. Mondays and Wednesdays, kids are out at 8 o'clock. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they are out at 7 o'clock. So there is an hour gap if you do have kids in both groups. So that's something to factor in. That's why we have this meeting in August, even though we don't start in September, to give everybody a time to figure out childcare, rides, supervision, all that kind of stuff so you can coordinate your game plan for when we get started. Okay, so the high school group has not changed. Your kids should be here at the latest 4:30. They can come earlier. We are here. We'll let them in, I guess. They can come and do stuff, but 4:30 is the drop dead time that we want them to be here, and they're out at 8 o'clock. Any questions about schedule? Yes, ma'am.
Just one question. The schedule will be kind of like the same, related, for example, to play tennis outside?
Yes, ma'am. So that part stays the same. They'll still be playing tennis as the last thing, and they'll be playing it outside on the same courts that you're familiar with. We've changed a few things with our inside schedule to be able to do this. We've taken out, I'm going to just, don't tell your kids, we took away recess. Okay, we took it. Don't tell them, they may not notice, but we took it. So that we could have 45 extra minutes to be able to then let them out earlier. So we made some adjustments. We're squeezing snack time down to like 15 minutes, eat that food and get back out there. Here comes your tutor and get out of here. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Any more questions about schedule?
So I was just going to say 1 hour of tennis.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Tennis is we stole from recess, we gave it to tennis, we put everything else in the middle. Okay, last but not least, what everybody wants to know. How many of you guys, be honest, because your kids can't see you, how many of you guys were happy that school started up again? Some people were happy. Last night, I had this meeting last night, like the whole room was like, hey, oh. Everyone was like, yes, get these kids out of here, go to school. Okay, so EPATT has not yet fully started though, and we will not fully start until September. Anybody who's been here a while know why we start so late. Why are we lazy? So yeah, Mr. Becerra said it. We rely on Stanford students as our tutor. That is the core of the individuals that volunteer to work with your kids. They don't start school until the end of September. What's wrong with them? You know, what's wrong with these guys? So because they start so late, we start so late. But we actually still start earlier than they do to get the kids acclimated to the schedule, to start our transportation rotations, and all those things that help us logistically to get it together. So ESG, Monday, September 16th. MSG and HSG, Monday, September 9th, and we're a go. All right, you guys got all that? Are you ready? Okay. You guys might have seen the slideshow. Every year, East Palo Alto Tennis and Tutoring wants to give you an opportunity to participate in an event called the Palo Alto Moonlight Run/Walk. As you can see, lots of families have participated, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great exercise, and it's an opportunity to see maybe a part of your community that you're not used to seeing, or to lose your kids, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, in the dark. So, we found her. We found her. It's okay. We don't normally lose them. But, just kidding, you guys. It's a joke. This event happens in the Palo Alto Baylands near Bixby Park. Anybody been to the duck pond? Yes, if you've been to the duck pond or done any walking in the back over there, this is a 5K walk that takes place in our neighborhood, in our backyard. And so we really encourage you to go. It's a lot of fun, and it's the best long sleeve t-shirt you'll ever get. I'm just saying. The Moonlight Run t-shirts go strong. If you want to participate, only the first 25 families will be paid for. Adrian, what is the sign-up cost?
$40.
So we will pay if you sign up in the first 25. After that, I still encourage you to go. It's $40 well spent. Okay, $40 well spent.
For each or
Per person.
The kids?
I believe. The kids are cheaper.
They're fake families.
Yeah, the kids are slightly cheaper, but I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah, we pay for we pay for you and your kids. Is that right? Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, now I'm done with my logistics. Now it's time to talk about the meat of my meeting, and the theme is your activity matters. So you guys have heard me say to you over the years, you are the most important people in your children's lives. You're probably like desensitized to that now. You probably don't even hear me when I say it, but I mean it. And this year, I think we've finally started to really get around how we can help you to embrace that role even more, because a lot of you are doing incredible things with your kids already, things that other people are not doing. And we're always trying to encourage you to do more and do better and to do it more effectively. So the theme is your activity matters, but I want to talk about sports. Last year I talked about construction. This year I'm talking about sports. How many of you like sports, like to watch or participate? By a show of hands. Nice. Okay, good. We got some sports fans. Okay. Who are your favorite athletes? Throw out some names. Who do you guys like? Any sport.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. That's my girl. Lakers all the way. Lake show. All right, Kobe Bryant.
Bolt running.
Who?
Bolt.
Bolt. Oh, Usain Bolt. Okay. Track sprinter from Jamaica. Who else?
Thompson.
Klay Thompson. Martina Hingis? You like her? She cheats. She cheated Serena that year in the U.S. Open. Okay. Focus.
And Lupe, too.
No, Lupe Talakai is not my favorite athlete.
Alex Morgan.
Alex Morgan, women's soccer. What? That's what I'm talking about. Now, we know that we have favorite athletes, but my question for you is, why do we like these guys? Like, what is it about them that makes us drawn to them? That was a question. Yes? Their commitment? Okay. How does their commitment show up? How do you know they're committed? They win. You see it, right? You see the rings that Kobe has, right? You see the women's soccer team dominate. You see Klay Thompson, although right now he's not dominating anything except for social media. But that's besides the point. So the question on the table today is, what makes them stellar, right? It's like all of us are familiar with the image. And here's a great image that Maribel found for me. So Maribel found this great image with these guys standing on a podium. And that's what we're used to. You watch the Olympics to see who finishes first, second, and third. Who gets the gold, the silver, and the bronze. And we're always celebrating those people. Like we're taking pictures, the media is out, the paparazzi is there. But the thing that you don't see when the cameras aren't around is, what did it take for them to get on the podium? That's the non-glamorous stuff, right? That's the stuff. There's no media. There's no people taking pictures. Nobody's interviewing you about what you did to be the best. But if you didn't do those things, you didn't make it to the podium, right? So what I want you to focus on while we're talking today is, what are the key characteristics of stellar athletes? How does Alex Morgan and Kobe Bryant and Usain Bolt and Klay Thompson and not Lupe, how do they make it to that elite level? What is a marathon?
Running.
It's a race.
It's a race?
Yeah.
It's a long race?
Yeah.
How many miles is it?
13 point something.
She says 13? 26.
Oh.
That's right.
Because they have.
You were almost there. It's a half marathon.
Yeah.
A marathon is a long-distance endurance run of 26.2 miles. That's like us walking from East Palo Alto to Brisbane, which is just south of San Francisco, okay? That's how far people run. I don't even know why they do it. Actually, we're going to find out. So, just in case you're wondering, the fastest marathon runner in the world is a gentleman by the name of Eliud Kipchoge. He runs 26 miles in 2 hours and 25 seconds. That means he's running at a speed of 13 miles an hour for 2 hours straight. He's incredible. He can run 1 mile in 4 minutes and 24 seconds. He's currently pursuing the goal of breaking the 2-hour barrier to be the first person to ever run 26 miles in under 2 hours. So he's got this whole project he's working on. He's amazing. Now, we're not him, but if you and I, us in this room, if we started training for a marathon, okay, and we actually could get to the point where we were able to run 26 miles, we're average. I'll call all of us in here average. Average for men would take them 4 hours and 22 minutes. Women, it would take us 4 hours and 48 minutes. Boston qualifying time. So people run marathons all over the world, but there are like a top 5 in sort of marathon lore. In Boston, the Boston Marathon is one of those top races. So if you in order to qualify to participate in that race in Boston every year, you have to run the marathon in 3 hours for men, 3.5 hours for women. And again, if you're Olympic level, then you're in the 2-hour range, okay? Now, you might be asking, why are you talking about marathons? What does that have to do with education? Well, I'll get to it. Don't rush me. Don't rush me, guys. It's coming. What I want to do is introduce you to somebody. Have a seat, Adrian. He's from East Palo Alto, and he runs marathons. I know, right? He looks so normal, kind of. Kind of normal, I guess, sometimes. So, Adrian, I have known him since he was in 6th grade. He used to go to flood school, back when East Palo Alto had a flood school. And when I knew him at the young age of 11 years old, he wasn't running marathons, right? He was running like around the playground and stuff. But no, he wasn't running 26 miles, okay? But today he does. And before I reveal all of what he's doing, I want to ask you guys a question. How fast does Adrian run marathons? Yesterday they got within 3 minutes. Miss Barbie, guess within 3 minutes, I want to say. All right. How fast? So I give you the scale. Average people here, the Boston qualifiers here, Olympians there. Him. He is from East Palo Alto.
Say about
2.5
2:30.
minutes.
Ooh, wow. They love you. So some people said 2.5. 2:45.
I think
3.5.
4 hours.
4 hours. Nobody's close.
2 hours?
Yeah, and your name is Eliud Kipchoge. I don't think so. All right. So I want to show you things before I reveal. Do you know what these are, guys?
Tired feet.
Whose feet are they?
Adrian.
What's missing on this toe right here? That's supposed to be a toenail, but it's gone. But anyway, that was for free. That has nothing to do with anything. Okay, that's one marathon. That's Adrian at the Boston Marathon. What is his time?
12.
Not bad, right? He's alright. But then he did this. Okay, Adrian, okay. So, yeah, give him some props. Give him some props. So, Adrian is an East Palo Alto born and raised marathon runner. You may have seen him. He runs in the neighborhoods of East Palo Alto and through the Baylands. You might not recognize him because he's wearing really tiny shorts. So, if you do see him, don't look too hard, okay? Because he needs a tan in certain areas, you feel me? But, yes, down there. That's where he needs the tan. On his ankles. But, he runs a lot. Last night, this is a true story, after I did this presentation, we packed up, we met with a lot of parents that had questions, and we were back in the back. We had a whole staff meeting. Then we walked out to our cars. Maribel and I walked to our cars to go home and lay down. Feel me? Adrian?
I did some yoga.
And she wants credit for that, because that was hard. Girl, you hard. Look at you, girl. You so hard.
Did you do yoga?
No,
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't. Because I am hard. For real. Feel me? Anyway, stay focused, you guys. So, we're walking to our cars to go home and do what we do. Yoga, relax, and eat. He walked us to our cars and then proceeded to do his workout. And I think last night he ran 10 miles in
1 hour, 1 minute.
1 hour, 1 minute. After work. He works out every night. After work. Okay, so Adrian is our example of a local, homegrown, just like us, guy who runs marathons. So I got a couple questions. So this is a Q&A, that's why he has a microphone, because I have some questions. My first question for you, Adrian, is the question we all have. Why would you run 26.2 miles?
Well, I once told myself I would never pay to actually run an event. Why pay when I could just do it for free? But then a friend and I, in 2015, were going to run a marathon in Guadalajara, Mexico. And we were training. Then they did not attend. They said that they weren't going to, and I could have said no, that we were supposed to do it together. But I still went ahead and ran it. I flew down in October to surprise my grandparents and my family before running the marathon, and I ran in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
3 hours, 11 minutes.
Okay, so you did it because somebody else signed you up. So my next question is, what is your workout regimen? Like, what do you do in order to prepare to run 26 miles nonstop?
So a training camp is normally
I have it up here too if you want it.
4 months, and it's usually an average of 40 to 60 miles a week in running, from long distance runs to speed workouts, stretching, running in the morning, and also a harder workout in the afternoon. But I have a schedule that I need to follow because there's a goal that I need to meet by the end of the week in terms of my mileage, but also the overall goal that I have of accomplishing after the 16 weeks, which is the race.
Yeah, so tell us how far you run. What do you do? Like, what's a workout like?
So, my current week is, I'm in week 10 right now, and last night I ran 10 miles. It told me to do 10, but this is for a 3.
No, it told you to do 9?
Yeah, it told me to do 9, but I did 10.
So wait a minute. Your workout told you to do 9, but you did 10?
Yes.
Why did you do 10?
Well, this is for a 3 hour.
Why want some extra credit?
Well, so this is for a 3 hour marathon, but my goal is to not get 3 hours. I want to hopefully re-qualify for Boston and beat my time faster than 3 hours. So an extra mile, not doing 8 8 times 800, so that is 800 yards, so 2 laps around the track, 8 times. After that, there's a 1 minute rest around 1 lap. Slow.
Wait, rest? You mean like you lay down, you fall out?
No, I'm still jogging slow.
Oh, so rest means you still run, you just slow down.
I slow down.
Oh, okay, just checking.
So, but then last night, it told me to do 800s at that speed, but I didn't do that. I warmed up for 2 miles at 7-minute miles, and then I ran 4 miles at 5:30 pace, so 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And then I did 4 800s at a 3-minute pace.
And I think you sent me a text and you said your watch showed you that was your fastest?
For the training,
Yeah.
I got my fastest 10K, which is 7 miles, and my fastest 5K time, which is 15:37.
Okay.
So I'm making gains towards getting faster towards that goal in a few weeks.
Nice. Okay, now I got another question for you. My third question is, what is the hardest part of preparing to run a marathon, and how do you push yourself past that point?
Well, the easiest part is signing up, and then also the easiest part is actually the race day, because I've trained. So if I put the time in for the training, so the race day should be the easiest thing, because I've rested 2 weeks before that. But the hardest part is actually a few things. First of all is you got 4 months to train and run in every single day. There's long distance runs, but there's speed workouts. Speed track workouts are where you almost are trying to run out of breath, so your body is breaking itself to build itself up, so it's not working as hard.
Does that feel good?
Oh, he's not sure.
Yes and no. The legs, it doesn't feel nice on the legs because you're getting sore and you're building up lactic acid. And it also is hard for you mentally because you want to tell yourself when you're running at the speed, I'm not used to this, I need to stop, I need to slow down. But if I slow down, I'm cheating myself in the training for that goal that I have.
Yeah. Okay.
How do I keep pushing myself?
Yes.
There's the goal at the end, but I have these other goals of hopefully getting faster and not just reaching that goal, but maybe beating that goal. So.
Okay. And what is your goal?
So, few goals. First of all is to re-qualify for Boston. And just running 3 hours doesn't qualify you. You have to beat it by 20 minutes to secure it. Just because there's so many people who are trying to do that race that a lot of people apply. So they don't take everyone. So Boston, hopefully beating 2 hours and 51 minutes, which is running at a 6:33 pace. One day to run 100 miles. That's from Tahoe all the way to Auburn, California. It was a big race. And lastly is
100 miles.
26 miles in Tonga.
And what's significant about 26 miles in Tonga?
The island, in terms of length, or from point to point, is 26 miles.
So you're just going to be the first one to run the Tongan Marathon. Be there, book your ticket when he runs from one end of the island to the other nonstop. Okay, so here are my takeaways, if I could summarize it, right? When Adrian's hurt, he runs. When there is a minimum amount, he does extra. When he wants to get trained or to learn more, he studies people who are great. He doesn't make excuses. He watches his diet and he's disciplined, and he has set goals for himself, and he does whatever it takes, and he doesn't give himself any shortcuts or any ways out. His mentality and his body are all aligned towards pursuing a goal that he set for himself. So the last question I was going to ask was about his inspiration, but I'm going to skip the Q&A part since you guys had great questions and just reveal. So this Handsome gentleman over here is Senor Amaral. That is Adrian's dad. That's Adrian's dad at age 37. Can you see what he's doing?
Running.
He's running. He is running a marathon at age 37. That's Adrian's dad again at 40. What is he doing? Running a marathon. That's Adrian's dad at age 69. Woot! He just finished a bike race. How far was that race, Adrian? 75 miles?
Yeah.
75-mile bike race at age 69. This is his dad at age 72. How far was this bike race?
Same race, 75 miles.
75 miles, and Adrian's dad was the oldest participant in the race. Adrian's dad inspires not just Adrian, but it turns out that Mr. Amaral has inspired all of his sons. Adrian's brother Benito, who was in EPATT, played soccer for Creighton University at the college level, and at the time he played, Creighton was a top 5 soccer school. After that, he tried out for the LA Galaxy and almost made it to the MLS level. He did not quite break through, but he was good enough to be engaged in the tryout process. Benito ran the Chicago Marathon with a time of 3 hours, 3 minutes. Even though he was running it illegally, he borrowed Adrian's bib because he didn't run it.
I was supposed to run it, but then I was hurt.
Then that's Adrian. Not only does Adrian run marathons, which you guys know about because we've talked about them for the last 35 minutes, he also plays co-ed and men's soccer leagues, and his teams have won 7 championships. So on the nights when Adrian's not running, he's running, but he's chasing a ball. Okay, so that's the difference, and that's, to this day, he does that. That's Marcos, the youngest member of the Amarals, who also ran the Chicago Marathon in a time of 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 34 seconds, just so he could say, I beat Benito. So at the very end, he pushed it so that he could say he didn't come in second to his brother. And this is my favorite member of the Amaral family. That's Mrs. Amaral. She's been an EPATT parent for forever. She's actually still an EPATT parent, but now she's a parent to us. So she takes care of us, she feeds us, she's awesome. But Mr. Amaral's legacy inspired his kids to do great things, to be stellar athletes. All 3 of these boys have the same work ethic that you heard Adrian talk about. They push through pain, they practice when no one's making them, they're disciplined in their diet, their focus, their mentality. They're inspired. It all came about because of their father's legacy, both here and in Mexico. Their dad is known for his athletic exploits. He inspired other people to be active in those things, and it has translated into this crazy guy right here. Okay? All right, Adrian, thank you. Give that guy a hand. I got 15 minutes and I got a big hand. Thank you, Adriano. Okay, so here are the points that I summarized, and you guys know that I'm coming for you next. Here we go. So, stellar athletes, like Mr. Amaral, like Benito, Marcos, and Adrian, they know where they stand. They're aware of the field. They have a plan, and they have set goals. Remember, the things that work in sports work in life. They work everywhere. That's part of why we love sports, because it's like a little microcosm of all the things that we're experiencing every day. Stellar athletes, practice, 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 practice. They don't take the day off, right? They're not like, well, I think I'm going to stay in bed a little longer. People who are great practice every day. They are self-disciplined when it comes to their diet. They've got early mornings and late nights. Time management. Adrian is very aware of what he's doing and when he's doing it. It's not random. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to practice now. Oh, now I'm not going to practice anymore. Right? There's a game plan. And he has a strategy for how he's going to get, in his 4-month period of time, how he's going to be ready to run the race in the time he wants. And then I have this one last. Sacrifice, pain, injury, also known as blood, sweat, and tears. He actually cried when his toenail fell off and he thought that he might not make it to the Boston Marathon. He shed tears. And then he got on a bicycle and rode 7 miles, right? It's like, there are times when you cry, when it's hard, when it's frustrating. He still did it. And as you guys know, that's the same thing that we've got to do. So tonight, you guys have a piece of paper. Can I borrow yours, Mr. Sarah? Because I never have anything. Can you guys pull out this piece of paper that you've been given? It says, EPATT's Marathon Action Plan, Path Towards a Stellar Student. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so the question on the table is, you're going to be your family's Mr. Amaral, right? What is it that you need to do or say to help your child get beyond just participating in school, right, to actually being stellar? But that starts with not just you going, well, I'm going to tell my kid to do this, and they're going to do this, and my kid needs to do that. We want to do the Mr. Amaral method, which is we demonstrated, we set up the expectation, the legacy, the strategy, the example, the household that helps our students to do what he did. Take it up, own it for themselves, and go forth and do it. All right, so that's what you have in front of you. So I'm going to do my sample. I don't want you guys to do yours here, so you can just actually watch me. You don't have to write, because you get to take this home. Because this is one of those activities that I don't want you to just write what Keisha said or write whatever so we can get our workshop credit and go home. Let's just finish. They always telling us to do something. No, we don't want this piece of paper. I actually will never take this piece of paper from you, because I'm hoping that if you don't keep it, that it at least starts to spark in your mind what you can do for your kids. So this is Maria Isabel. Her son's name is Pamphilo, all right? So she has a goal, and I think you guys already have the goals on your sheets, I think. And for Pamphilo, the goal is, and this is what Maria said, for my child to have no grades lower than a B. So mom is like, you know what, this year, in our marathon is a school year, so it's not 26.2 miles, but it's from late August to early June. We're running a marathon. And along our goal, our finish line is straight B's. At least her goal, Maria's goal, is straight B's for her kid, okay? So she's got a goal. Yay, Maria. But now she needs to figure out what the strategy is. So she's like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I know that if my kid gets all their homework done on time and turned in, that will contribute to B's. So I'm going to make sure that happens. That's part of the strategy, but she needs to get a little more detailed. When is she going to do it? So she says, every night I'll check homework, and on Thursdays I'm going to check the online system, right? And I'm going to see if Pamphilo has any missing work. That's what I'm going to do, okay? But then she's got to be like, okay, but with any plan like him, like Adrian's plan, you got to go on a diet. And a diet is two things. It's what I'm taking out, what I stop eating, and what I add in. Because he added some nasty stuff in that smoothie, right? So it's what I take out and what I add in. So she said, I'm taking out my son's phone from 6 to 9 p.m. 6 to 9 p.m. Maybe that's because that's when he does homework, right? I don't know, but that's what she's figuring. And she's going to, so that's what she's taking out. What she's adding in is, I'm going to make sure when he's done, he's going to come up to me and explain the homework to me so that I can tell that he just didn't fill it out, but that he understood it. So that's Maria's game plan for her diet. Discipline. What are the good habits that I'm adding to my household? So she goes, okay, I gotta add something in that shows my son an example of people getting stuff done of an academic nature. I know I'm going to read a book or a newspaper or a magazine while my kids do homework, okay? And she wrote, and I like this, I will not be on my phone. See, you can't take the phone from 6 to 9, then tell them do your homework, and then you're going like this from 6 to 9. You know what I'm saying? It's like Mr. Amaral was running marathons at age 37, 40, 69, 72. He had a legacy of always doing in front of his kids the things that inspired them to do what they did later on in their lives. You see what I'm saying? So discipline is on you, right? I mean, well, we know that we discipline our kids, but in this case, it's the self-discipline that you have to model, because if you're not modeling it, so you tell them, put that phone down, give me that, you're on that too much, hold up. Stop, get off your phone, right? It's like we can't, kids are watching you. They're not listening to you, especially as they get older. Woo, good night, Irene. By the time they hit middle school, they're really watching you. See, in elementary school, you can sort of hide stuff because, you know, they didn't know everything. But they hit middle school and all they care about is, what am I seeing in your life? And if in your life, you're telling me to do, you want me to read better, you want me to be more focused, you want me to this and that, but every time I look at you, you're in your phone, I don't know about that, right? You want me to stop eating this, stop eating that, but when I look at you, what are you putting in your mouth, right? It's like your kids are looking at you. And so you have to be the one that shows the discipline in your life while you tell them about the discipline they need to add into theirs. See, Adrian's plan right now involves pain. And the plan that's going to get your kids to where you say you want them to get will cause you pain. Hopefully not physical pain. I'm not advocating that. So don't go home and start self-flagellation or anything crazy. But pain in terms of a loss of comfort. Because a lot of the things that we do it because you've had a long day and you're tired, right? Your boss was giving you the business and I need to get away, right? It's like we have our escapes because we're human beings. But something will have to be sacrificed in order to see them see you different. Because if you make no sacrifices, but you're always telling them to make a sacrifice, I'll tell you what, nobody's sacrificing. Speaking of sacrifice, Maria's going in deep. She also says, I will not watch TV. So sacrifice has a little subtitle, what will I give up? Maria said, I'm giving up television watching while my kids do their homework in the dining room. So it's a Monday night football game. It's a Sunday night football game. Your kid has a project. What are you doing? If you won't turn the television set off while they get that project done so you can give them your attention or give them a distraction-free place, you're not making a sacrifice, but you want them to, right? My mother told me a story just this week. She didn't know she was telling me a story. I get a lot of my material just from like life and going around. So my mom and I were talking about a situation going on her job, and she was frustrated. And I was like, oh, what's going on? So we were talking about it. And she said, you know, Keisha, sometimes I have regrets about things I've done in my life, right? She goes, I wish that I had been more ambitious and this and that in her pursuit of her career. She said, but there was a point in which I realized that if I took on more jobs and more responsibility, I wouldn't ever see you. Because she was, my mom was a single mom, so it was just me and her. So I was active in sports and in music and in clubs. So I was always out of the house doing something. And the only time she really saw me was when she went to see me, right? See the game, see the recital, the performance, the poetry reading. That's when we spent our quality time. So she said, if I took a second job and couldn't go to those things, that's it. We don't see each other, right? She gets up and goes to work. I drove myself to school. I was a high schooler. I was very responsible. I had a car since 14. So that was it. We were done. We were not seeing each other if she didn't decide that I could pursue my career, or I can realize that these are some important final years before my daughter goes to college and I'm just going to not do it. She made a sacrifice that today, now she's, well, I won't say my mom's age because that's like, a violation. Let me just say that my mother is soon to be able to retire. And she knows that she could probably be at a different place in her career had she made different choices. But she didn't do it. She made a sacrifice so that I can stand in front of you and say, you guys got to make sacrifices. How are your kids going to get the things you say you want them to have, but you won't change anything? And I know that a lot of you change stuff, so it's not like I'm standing there going, you guys aren't doing anything, you're not doing enough. You're doing an awful lot. You're probably doing a lot more than other people because you're here, right? But it's like, there's more to give. There's always more to give until you want your kids to be like me where I'm at, right? I was able to go to a prestigious competitive college or university that I was able to choose from. I had options. She paid a price though. And that's what it's going to take. They're not just going to bounce into an elite situation without you guys giving something. All right, I'm going to be done and then I'll let you guys go home because I made a promise. The promise is 7:30. Here we go. Finally, practice beyond the minimum. So Maria says, okay, I'm doing this stuff at home, I'm cutting back, I'm making these sacrifices, I'm doing this and that, but once a month I'm going to take my kids on a college tour. Now maybe Maria's never been to a college in her life, except for here, but she might be like, okay, I don't know how to do that. She can call Maribel and say, hey Maribel, I need to take my family on a college tour, can you help me? That's why EPATT's here. We'll help you know who to call, where to go, how to do it. We're here, we're your partner in crime and all these things you want to do. That's what we're a resource for. So don't be afraid to have some really crazy, difficult thing you want to do. Don't be scared well, I don't know how to do that. Or I've never done that. EPATT is here to help you take the big risk in terms of achieving your goals, because you see, some people don't like to think about trying to see their kids do more or trying to push their kids to do more because I don't know, they feel like maybe that's too much pressure, or that's going to stress those kids out. I don't know if that's true. I think sometimes we're afraid to see just how amazing our kids can be. We don't want to give them a chance to thrive, okay? So you give them a chance to thrive when you set up an example in your life and in your house, and you make the sacrifices to see them go where you say they want to go. Because I think everybody who's in here wants to see their kids achieve amazing things, right? You don't want them to have the struggles that you had. You want them to have more. The only way they can have more than you is if you do more than you're doing now. And I know you guys do a lot, so you know I'm not coming against anybody. There ain't no judgment in this room. But I also know that there's more to be done, because I work with these kids. I see the reading scores. I see the grades in school. I see the missing homework just like you. I see the poor tests on quizzes and exams. I see these things, and I know there's more we can do. But to be honest, I am not the most influential person in your child's life. I mean, I'm cool, don't get me wrong. But they're not looking at me. They're not. They may tell me stuff, and I know things, but they're not looking at me. They're looking at you. And so since you're the one that they see, you're the one who has to make the hard changes. Last but not least, you don't have to give us this today. We'll send you a due date and a link to use to turn it in to us. Because, again, take your time and think about it. We'll ask you to send us a picture of your plan. That just helps us know that everybody's done it. You know how we are. We like to give credit for stuff. That's EPATT. We do that. That's our thing. And just to sweeten the deal, I guess, kind of, here are the changes that we're making in the EPATT report card, everybody's favorite thing, right? So before, you needed a 3.3 and you could just keep coming back, Well, we've changed things. You do still need a 3.3 because we do want you to bring food, bring your kids on time, come to workshops. We still need you to do that. But we're focused in on, thank you, isn't that great? Look at that. You also need a 3.3 in these areas. Parent hours, home academic supervision, because this is where the rubber meets the road. So parent hours will be different than they ever have. So before, you guys would do parent hours, you just make up something, do whatever you wanted to, whatever you thought. Now, we're going to tell you what the parent hours are, and you just have to do those things. Obviously, it won't be random. It'll be things related to what we see come through these plans, right? The things that we know will work at home. So, an example, someone said, well, what's an example of what we're going to have to do? This summer, you guys had to make a home learning center and take a picture and show it to us. So if you were in the summer program, that was one of the requirements. So it'll be stuff like that. Stuff that you have to do at home that's going to make a difference. So it'll be more connected with the goals we have. That's why I said at the beginning of the meeting, we're starting to hone in on how can we partner with you guys to help you remember, to remind, to be inspired, to have the tools to do the thing you say you want. Because you guys brought your kids to us for a reason. And it wasn't just for us to fix them, because don't want to spoil it, but we can't. We don't have it, right? We don't have the solution to why your children are struggling in school. But we have tools and really good advice, and we're here for you as a resource. That's what we have. That's what we're giving. And you'll only get credit for parent hour activities that are the ones that we send. So it's important that you stay on top of your parent game. So what we're trying to do is partner with you to say, okay, stay on top of the parent game, because that's the only thing that really matters. We believe this will make a big difference, and I hope that you do too. Any questions? She asked a good question. So parent hours, when you volunteer at school, won't count anymore? No, they won't. Unless for let's say maybe for the month of September, if I say for our middle school group, this month the parent hour is go volunteer at school, then it would count. That is not what it's going to be, because you guys are so good. There was a time when I'd have these meetings, and there were parents who did not go to open house, back to school night, or meetings. Right now, I'm looking at a group of people who, you guys are like, what? Who doesn't go to that? That's what? You guys go to that stuff as a matter of course. That's automatic for you. Y'all are awesome. And yet here we are still looking at things that aren't where we want them to be. There's reading scores, grades in school, tests and quizzes. That's because our level, we got to go up because our goals are higher. So while that is active, that is not going to bring your son's reading score up at all. So that's why those kind of things will no longer count. You should, obviously I'm not saying stop. You bad parents throw caution to the wind. We ain't going to nothing this year. Shoot, I'm tired of this. No, I'm definitely not discouraging you from participating actively in your school communities. But the kind of stuff I'm going to be asking is not going to burn like that. That doesn't burn you guys anymore, right? That's like telling Adrian to go run a mile. He would come back with no sweat, right? Because that's nothing to him. And to tell you guys to go to a parent meeting, that's no sweat. That's no cost. So that's why that's no credit. Because for you guys, that's like telling Adrian to run a mile. Now, you might have to take off work. Yes, that's a sacrifice. You may have to talk to a teacher that you don't like. Yeah, maybe that's a sacrifice. But again, you're trying to run 26.2, not 1. So in order to get to 26.2, it's going to be something that takes you out of your comfort zone, most likely. That's why we're here. We like terse conversations with people who don't want to do stuff. That's our favorite thing. At EPATT, we're a unique program in that sense, you know. Somebody came to the meeting last night and then sent us a text message. I can't, it's too much. We're not the program for everybody. And I say that every year. We are a little bit annoying. We're, we do that thing to you, right? We make you upset sometimes. We say things that are hard to hear. But I hope you know where our heart is. It's with your children and with you. We love them to death. We'll go the extra mile. But it doesn't matter what we do. All that matters is what you do. And so that's why we stay on it so much, right? It's because y'all are the key to success. But the key's got to look a little different if it's going to open the doors that you guys want to open.